Hi everybody, my name is Megan and welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel if you're a subscriber or a returning viewer. Today I'm going to be planning in my Hobonichi weeks for the week of May 6th through the 12th. I am using a sticker kit that are leftover stickers from a Erin Condren planner. I do use an Erin Condren to plan. My Erin Condren planning is kind of a cross between a pre-plan, plan as I go, and a memory keeping spread, in which case I do use these stickers, and I wanted to use the leftovers in the Hobonichi weeks. I've done this in the past for some older videos, but nothing recently. Now, I do want to just give you a heads up. If you watched my plan with me from last week, where I did a complete ink or pen spread, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I think I might have said that the markers that I used, these Stabilo Fine Point 88, I think it's a 0.4 point tip, I think I said that they didn't bleed through, that there was only some ghosting. I was wrong, and I think I just didn't notice it. On the parts of the pen, especially with the darker pen, where I did thicker lettering, like for tracking to do exercise, there's a tiny bit of bleed through, and I'll show you a close-up of that. But if you're just drawing a single line, I didn't see really a whole lot of bleed through or any. It was just the ghosting. So I did want to make note of that, and I will try to remember to note that in the plan with me where I actually used those markers. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with this plan with me. So these are the stickers that I'm using. It's like I said, an Erin Condren sticker kit from Station Stickers, and this is an old kit. I'm like 99.9% sure you cannot get this kit in shop anymore, but I will leave a link to the store down below, or to the shop down below. But I got this last year and really loved the hollow foiling and just the bright, vibrant pastel colors. But I purchased it, I believe, at a time when it was either I didn't have my Erin Condren yet, and I just was like super excited that I was going to be getting one, and so I bought a bunch of sticker kits, or I had just recently purchased the Erin Condren, and I was super excited that I had an Erin Condren and purchased too many sticker kits. So either way, I've been holding on to this for a while. I finally used it this week, and now I'm going to be using the leftovers. Okay, so I really wanted to use as much of the stickers, or as many of the stickers as I possibly could, including these full box heart checklists that I don't usually like to use because I am a white space planner typically. But I thought that for the Hobonichi, I would go ahead and turn this into my to-do list. I've found that recently I haven't really been using the Hobonichi weeks to really record all the to-dos that I've needed to do. I think just during the week, I work, I do the things I need to do for work, but then I get home and I just don't want to do anything. I don't know about you, but I'm an introvert, but I'm also a teacher, and so when I teach, I put like 110% into the teaching, and so I come home and I'm exhausted. And I don't even have that many students, but it just is really tiring. So when I go home, I don't want to do any sort of housework unless I don't really use the Hobonichi. I use the Hobonichi, but I don't really have a long running to-do list. So anyway, I thought that these full heart checklists, or ombre heart checklists, I think is what they're called, would work really well along the right side because there's a long list, but it's not an excessive amount. The kit that I was using did have these narrower strips, which were designed for an A5 size planner, I believe, and so I thought that I would go ahead and use those as the bottom and top washi. You will notice that on the bottom left side, I did accidentally wrinkle the paper, but since the Hobonichi paper, although it's pretty durable when it comes to inks and water, it is really delicate because it's so thin, especially with sticky materials like stickers. So if I were to try to peel that up, then it would have completely ripped the paper, and I've tried using undo on the Hobonichi weeks. It's worked, it's been successful, but it's also really scary because it just soaks through like 5 sheets of paper. So I decided no undo, I'll just leave the wrinkle in the paper. I am also outlining the weeks again, and I am using that darker Stabilo marker just as a single outline. To me, it's, if it does end up bleeding through, it's bleeding through on an outline. It's not a big deal. Also, I'm not as concerned if there's bleed through on the left side of the page because it's for a week that's already passed. I decided that on the left side of the page, I wanted to divide the horizontal into 2 sections. So you have the far left section that's closest to the dates. That's going to be for my work schedule, important events, things that are happening for that week. And then on the right side of the left page is going to be exercise. And then on the right page, the grid page, where there's no stickers, I decided that's going to be for, the sticker I'm going to use says little things, but it's basically going to be social media, anything I want to track there or put there, maybe weather. I'm filming this, or I'm doing the voiceover on Tuesday, and it's hit a high of 72 degrees Fahrenheit in Boston, which is beautiful. Like, the weather's absolutely amazing. But yesterday it was in the 50s. Tomorrow it's supposed to be in the 50s, so I might mark the weather this week just because it's so abnormal. Anyway, so I went ahead and did an outline for that, and then I'm just going to go ahead and draw the horizontal outlines as well. You will see me take the pencil board and look like I'm fanning the paper, and I am. It's mostly because I want to just make sure that the ink dries. Because the Stabilo pen is so juicy, like there's a lot of ink that comes out of it if you're not careful, and that's why there's a little bit of bleed through, especially if you're doing thicker lettering. It also smears a little bit, so there is a little bit of a delay in the dry down time, and so that's why I just fanned the pencil board over to try and speed up that process. So I'm just going through and doing all the horizontal lines. So while I finish up the lines, I did want to talk a little bit about the comment section of my videos. Nothing bad. I just wanted to say thank you for everybody who commented on the last couple of videos. I think my Erin Condren monthly and then my plan with me, especially if you gave me suggestions on how to better take care of my nails or promote nail growth. Lots of good ideas. Some of them I've actually already tried. Some of them I'm kind of in the process of trying out. So thank you so much for all of your comments and suggestions. I haven't replied back to them yet. I mean, I have been reading them. I just haven't replied back to them yet, but I will. I do get a little bit anxious when it comes to emails and comments and like replying back to people through social media and in writing. I think it has something to do with my wanting to be as clear and not mess up with intonation or possible tone, or not intonation, but possible tone in my wording. And I know I tend to be really formal when I write. So I spend a lot of time thinking and probably honestly overthinking what I write. And so I kind of get into this paralysis of not wanting to respond at all. So it's not you, it's me. I'm totally getting to them, and hopefully by the time this video is uploaded, I will have responded to them. But I am working on that. That's my own kind of personal thing I need to work on, along with many things. So anyway, I did want to address that. All right, here on the right side, you'll see that header that I used, which says little things. I actually really don't like the term little things. I think it's kind of silly, but I did want to use some of the headers, and that was the only header that I really felt referenced, or not referenced, but referred to some of the things I might be writing in that section. Everything else felt a little bit too repetitive, like reminders and important to me seem very much the same. So I did want something different. And then for this column, you'll notice I am just using a blank purple header, and I end up writing the word exercise on it. Now that I've actually been using the planner this week, it probably would have been better if I had said like fitness or health and made it a little bit more general, but I did at the time just put exercise, and that's fine. And then I used the this week, which again seems a little bit redundant or unnecessary because clearly it's going to be this week, but I felt some of the other headers just didn't fit, plus also the color combination. All right, so now I'm actually not sure what I did. Oh, okay, I made sure that you could see the borders since the stickers covered up some of the marker outlining. What am I doing here? Oh, I decided to put the washi or the sticker strip at the top to act like a top washi, and I'm using that same strip design for like an A5 planner and then just cutting it down. It is a little bit taller than the page, so I just cut off the excess, and then I'll actually take that extra little tiny strip and put it at the bottom to make the bottom part a little bit thicker and include a little bit more of that scalloped mermaid scale pattern that I just think is super, super pretty. So the pattern doesn't quite line up, but it's also a little bit busy, so you can't really tell that the scales don't line up exactly. It's a little bit, like, I'll be honest, now that I'm looking at this and now that I've been using it, it's very sticker heavy. And I think part of it has to do with those ombre heart checklists that I'm using as the to-do list. It just creates this huge block of sticker, and that's not normally my style, but I did want to try something different. One thing I did also notice after the fact was that I didn't have any place for tracking. So I think if I were to go back, I would probably add in the tracking and maybe take out one of the to-do headers, not to-do headers, but the to-do checklists, and put tracking there, or I don't know, change something up a little bit. But I think anything that I want to track, I'll probably just put under the little things. And to be quite honest, my tracking has been really inconsistent. The things that I'm doing, I'm already doing and probably don't need to track them anymore. But the things that I'm not doing, I'm really not doing and need to be more intentional with making sure they get completed, like journaling. I haven't journaled in probably about a month, other than like a single day here and there. I think I'm going to do a video about how to catch up on journaling, or what I do when I need to catch up on journaling. But, you know, that's probably in the next couple of weeks or so if I do end up doing it. But I'm super behind. I have a Hobonichi original in the A6 size, and like there's a whole month of empty blank space. And I accept the fact that there is going to be blank space. Like there's no way I'm going to be able to fill every single page, but I mean, it's a whole month, it's a lot. So I do want to try and fill in a little bit of the gaps, and I'll see if I can film that. All right, so let me get back to what I'm doing on screen. So I just took the extra date dots and used them to cover up the current dates in the planner. Since the sticker kit that I used in the previous week, the end of April, first week of May, I still had date dots that I could use for this week, and I wanted to create a slightly more cohesive look, so I went ahead and used them. I thought it was, you know, it was pretty, that or cute, however you want to describe it. I liked the way it looked to have the numbers in the different colors, so I went ahead and covered them. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and write in my work schedule, and if you are new to my channel or not as familiar with my Plan With Me's, I do write my schedule in every week, even though it mostly stays the same and the hours don't change. However, I am paid hourly, and so I like to keep track of all of my hours in case there is something where I need to go back and double check something later on. And then if there's any hours that I like substitute for another teacher, I would add those in, or if something happens and I don't work, then I would write that in and make changes. Also, it helps me feel more accomplished, and I mean, like, work is a big chunk of your day. I feel like even though it's a little bit repetitive, for me it's worth writing down and noting because it's a big accomplishment. I don't know. Oh, this is my May monthly in the Hobonichi. I was trying out a monthly spread using some washi. I don't know. What do you think? I honestly am not liking the way that spread turned out, but if you are interested in seeing that plan with me for the Hobonichi Weeks monthly for the month of May, just using washi and sticker, and I think there's like a few random stickers, leave a comment down below and I'll upload it because I did film it. I had really good, not intentions, but like I was super excited to do that video and to do a monthly spread using washi, and it just didn't turn out. I'll be honest, the Hobonichi paper, the Tomoe River paper, especially in the weeks, and I think the cousin and the original, it has a slightly yellowish tint. That's something that may not be clear, especially on Instagram with filters and when you change the lighting, but I think in my videos it's pretty clear that this has a yellowy, creamish tint. It's like, it's not a white color. And so when you have washi, I think it sometimes changes the color a little bit because the washi is a little bit translucent. And I think the washi that I use, that multicolor, I think it's like a marbled foil multicolor, just did not go well with the Tomoe River paper, the color. So anyway, I digress. I'm actually curious, those of you who are watching, do you like if I talk through the whole video, or would you prefer if I added music in? As this video is sped up just a tiny little bit, instead of being at 100% like standard speed, normal speed, it is at 150, so it's just like a half notch faster. But I didn't want to speed it up too much because I know sometimes that makes people feel a little bit sick. But then I was wondering, do you want me to talk through it? Because I can talk through it, but then as you can see, I kind of go off onto these digressions and other things, and maybe that's interesting for you, but maybe it's not. Would you rather have music or have me speed it up so the video itself is shorter? Do you just stop watching after a while? I'm genuinely curious as to your thoughts on this, because for a while I was doing music interspaced and then sped up like double or triple speed, some of the really repetitive things like the writing in my schedule or the doing the outlines and stuff. But then I think I was watching a video, it was probably like an Erin Condren plan with me, but I was watching a video where someone said that they didn't like videos that just had music in them because usually they have this plan with me in the background as they're planning, or they're doing other things, and so they like to hear the person talking and kind of telling about their week and their days, because then they get to know that person better, and then also it's like something they can listen to. And I was thinking, and I was like, that's actually quite true, because I'm the same way. I watch Plan With Me's while I'm like doing dishes and, cleaning the bathroom and stuff. So I'm not, or doing my own planning or journaling, so I'm not always watching the screen. But anyway, I'm curious as to your thoughts. That's my big question for today, or for this video. So anyway, to talk a little bit about my week, since I haven't. So last week was my husband's birthday, and when I filmed this, it was Sunday. My husband's birthday was on Friday, May 4th, which is May the 4th, and it was really nice. We actually, my husband and I met in South Korea. We both are from the United States, but went to teach English in South Korea and then ended up meeting there. And we lived in Korea for about 4 years, and one of the things that we really miss is the food. Even though we can't do a whole lot of super spicy stuff anymore, we do really like the food. And so for my husband's birthday, we went out to lunch to a place in Boston. There's like a Korean like restaurant area. So we went out to one of the Korean restaurants and had lunch there, and it was really nice. And then we just walked around that area of Boston, and we don't get to walk, we haven't recently been able to walk around and just enjoy each other's company because we've both been working a lot. So it was really nice to just relax and walk and talk, or not talk, and just enjoy each other's company. So I did really, really like that. I also had a library book sale that I went to, which I'm super excited about, and I'll try to film a book haul for that probably next week is what I'm thinking. But that's pretty much my week last week. My nephew came over and like made a cookie, like a animal cell model or replica out of a cookie that he had to do for class. And so that was a lot of fun. We got to spend some time with him. But that's kind of bringing me to the end of this video. Sorry if you wanted to hear more about my week. I completely forgot about that until the very end. But I was just showing you the things that I used. So I used the Stabilo marker, the black pen that I used to actually write in the actual things that I'm doing this week was the Pilot, what was that pen? It was like the Pilot. I'll leave it down in the description below. It's one of the standard pens that I use all the time. And then I did use the Bic Whiteout Easy Correct. I think I had been saying that it's whiter, or it's not as white as the Tombow, and I think I was making that up. Or if it is less white, it's really, really minor or compared to the Tombow, but it's a whiteout I need to use up, so I'm using it in the Hobonichi weeks. And then the little sticky notes that I'm using are from Muji. They're called sticky tabs, I think is what they're called. And then I have the pencil board and the stencil, both from Hobonichi. So that's everything that I used this week in my Plan With Me. I will leave all the information in the description box below, and if anything's not listed or you still have questions, you can leave a comment, and I promise I will get to them as soon as I stop being anxious about the wording. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of the day and rest of your week. I will talk to you in the next video. Bye!